Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into Sentell. You know what it is, the best damn sports podcast, period. The undisputed champion of sports podcast. I'm your host, the sensational Sentell Wideman, a.k.a. Mr. No Days Off, a.k.a. the One Man Dynasty. This is Overreaction Monday. This is where we look back over the weekend. We go to do this during the football season, obviously for obvious reasons, because you have a lot of content for Saturday and Sunday. We go back to Saturdays, big games. We kind of analyze and break down some of the games from the weekend. Obviously, we break down the NFL games from the weekend. Some of the better games. We're not going to go through every game. We'll give you the scores of all the NFL games, but we'll only focus on a few of the college football games. A lot to get into. Again, you want to comment and have questions, you can submit those on the super chat. I can see all your questions and comments right here on the screen. So I want to thank everybody who's tuning in right now. If you're out there watching, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. But let's get into the show. Before I get into all the weekend's action in college and NFL and break down some of those stories. I got a couple things I really want to talk about from the weekend that's not football related. I do want to talk about a little bit about the fight that was Saturday night and how disappointed I am. Boxing has already been struggling as of late, man, because you don't get the fight that you actually want. People are ducking people. And it's just crazy what boxing has become. Boxing used to be, people don't understand this, that boxing used to be the biggest sport in this country. You go back to the 40s and 50s, boxing used to be it. The world heavyweight champion meant something back in the day. When you were the boxing heavyweight champion of the world in this country, you are a rock star. You are a superstar type dude. But with that being said, boxing has been missing out on big time fights because for the reasons I just spoke about, guys ducking guys and not wanting to face the best guys out there because they're trying to stay undefeated. But what I didn't like the other night, I don't give a damn that they were out in Vegas. We understand there's a 3-hour time difference. But this is one of the biggest fights in decades. And a long, long time in boxing. You got two of the best fighters in the world at the top of their game. And what do? The main event starts after midnight. Almost 1 o'clock in the morning before they start the main event on Eastern time zone. That is absolutely utter ridiculous. Now, I know that the numbers going to come out, and it probably did good numbers. But it probably could have been exceptional numbers had not been for the fact they decided to start the fight. The main event then started to almost 1 o'clock in the morning. And to me, that is flat out, what's the word I want to use? It's reprehensible. It's just not good business. It's bad business. And I know the guy got a ton of money who put this thing on. I know he don't really care, but from a viewer standpoint, from a customer standpoint, you did yourself a disservice. I mean, you look at a guy in his 40s now that it takes a lot. And I even work night shift, and I'm still saying this is crazy behavior to have a fight, to have one of the biggest fights in boxing in decades. And it doesn't go on to almost 1 a.m. in the morning. That is beyond crazy. That is ludicrous behavior. To have a fight this big, two superstar fighters. Well, Canelo's a superstar. Bud is a superstar, but Canelo's the biggest star. But regardless, you got two of the best fighters in the world, and they don't go on to almost 1 o'clock in the morning. That is criminal behavior. Eastern time. I should keep saying Eastern time because obviously it was in Vegas. But that's neither here nor there. So I have a bone to pick with the promotion and the production of this heavyweight matchup that we had between Canelo and Bud Crawford. For us to fight, outstanding fight. Bud Crawford was just tremendous. You know, I used to say back in the day when I watched Bud, and now I've changed my opinion on Bud. I used to just call him a fighter. I just always looked at him as a fighter. He's not a boxer. And that's a slight. That's a slight. He's a fighter. He's just a fighter. That's what he is. But these last two fights, the absolutely destruction of Errol Spence Jr., an absolute boxing clinic. The beatdown that he did of Errol Spence Jr. This fight against one of the best to ever do it, took him apart. So I gotta give this guy's one of the best to ever do it, and I gotta stop referring to him as a fighter now. This is one of the best pound for pound boxers to ever live. He's not just a fighter. The guy's IQ is super high. He studies the game. He's a student of the game. He sets up his punches. He has great balance, great legs, hand-eye coordination. The guy is an absolute stud, and he just took one of the greatest fighters of this generation apart. He took him apart, and I know what the scorecard said, and he won by unanimous decision, but it was probably more lopsided than it actually ended up scoring. He was just sensational. So the fight was outstanding. It was buzzworthy. People wanted to watch it. The celebrities were out. I would just say again, there's no reason on God's green earth should a fight be starting at 1 a.m. Eastern time. I don't give a damn where you're fighting at. I get it. It's big, 3-hour difference. I understand that. But you got one of the biggest fights in a long time and you didn't get it on the 1 a.m. I know several people who didn't even watch the fight. They went to sleep. They either fell asleep or went to sleep. So you missed out on a large chunk of your audience because this fight went on so long. And not to mention the fact that most of the undercard was terrible. So not only did it go long and you pushed back one of the biggest fights in decades, your undercard was terrible. So it's a double whammy because you had this terrible undercard and you made us wait for this much anticipated fight. But the fight was lit up to the hype. It was a great for boxing. Wish we could have more of this, but we will not because these guys are just absolutely scared to fight the best fighters. They do not want to have losses because just much like the social media era, these people who are in this age range are no different than why people get into fights on social media who end up resorting to violence on social media because we dissect them if they lose. They have to hear about this. They have to see it on social media relived over and over and over again. And these kids are these generational kids are sensitive. They can't take it. They don't handle adversity very well at all. They because those guys in the 70s and 80s got beat. They just dust themselves back up and fought the guy again. And if they didn't fight that guy, they fought another great guy. And we don't hold it against them. We don't hold it against the Alis that lost. We don't hold it against Frazier's, Foreman's, Tyson's. We don't hold it against them. Hearns and Hagler, Durant. We don't hold it against them. Those guys were great fighters. We do not hold it against them. So the fact that these guys see it as some kind of stain because you might have a loss, I hate it. And people want to blame Floyd, but there was only be one Floyd Mayweather. That was his thing. Because Floyd wasn't just Floyd in his prime he was just so much better than everybody he fought. So it wasn't this thing he's picking and choosing. He was just better than everybody he fought. Now later on in his career, yes, he did that. But when he was in his prime, he fought the best opposition. He was just that much better than the best opposition. So it looked like tomato cans in there, but that's just what it was. But now everybody see that zero as some kind of badge of honor. So now you skipping fights and you skipping this dude, you're ducking this dude, you're not fighting the best dude. You got 27 belts and you haven't beat the best guy in this weight class. So salute to Bud Crawford. First of all, salute to that brother for a multi-weight champion. Salute to Canelo also for taking this fight. I appreciate guys who don't duck, who want to smoke, and get in the ring, mix it up, and don't care nothing about no wins or losses. It's about giving people what they want. And that's why boxing sucks. That's why boxing is dying. Because they don't give the people what they want. Unlike the UFC, which has surpassed boxing here recently. Let me get I got some super chats coming in. Let me check these super chats out. I need. You know what I need to do? Hold on. Let me do it like this. Okay, I can see it. Shaquille Rowe says it's criminal that judges had them tied after 10 rounds. Fight wasn't close at all. I fell asleep and woke up in the fourth round. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's rough. It's rough on us. I mean, you in your 30s, so you look, but you was on first shift, so I understand. That's a tough fight. Sonny Bridges, did I miss the FSU spill yet? Where Tip Dennis at? LOL, LOL. Go Seminoles. We're gonna get to the football talk in a minute, but I did want to get through that. Okay, so I'm dressed in all black, right? I mean, I got a little red in my hat, but I'm dressed in all black because I'm here to bury a couple football teams. I'm here to bury a couple of football teams that I spoke very highly of in the preseason, and it pains me. It hurts me. It hurts me to say this about these teams. It's two of my playoff teams I had early in the season. Again, I told you I have the right to change my mind after week 4, which I will, and we'll reassess where we at that moment. But I got on black because I'm here to bury. I'm the Undertaker. I'm here to bury a couple teams. The Clemson Tigers. I'm going to have to change my strategy. Next season, I'm going to have to change my strategy. The things that I look for in football teams has changed. The NIL has changed it. The transfer portal has changed it. And the game has just changed. I was big on Clemson, returning quarterback, returning starters. I love that. That's my thing. Big time quarterback returning, all this hoopla. It doesn't mean a damn thing. It doesn't mean a damn thing. Cade Klubnik has been absolutely terrible. They can't run the football. The offensive line is abysmal. They lost to Georgia Tech this weekend, so they already got 2 losses, so they're 1-2. They haven't looked good. Cade's completing about 59% of his passes. He only has 3 TD passes on the season. They only average about 100-yard rushing a game, which I said the rushing game did concern me. I thought the passing game could overcome that, but the offensive line has been not good enough. Cade simply hasn't been good enough at all. He hasn't been good enough. So that's one team I want to bury. That's Clemson fans. I apologize. And they can. And here's the thing about their schedule. I don't think it's gonna happen. Let me get this out of the way because they don't look good at all. They could still win the ACC. They could. They got enough talent. They could actually turn it around. So let's see how they go. But I think they're done. Now, this one pains me for obvious reasons. This hurts. This hurts bad. But I do want to let me apologize to all my Gator fans out there before I start speaking. Let me apologize to people who watch this show for an objective opinion. And I try to do my best to be objective on this show and give you not a fan perspective, although I am a fan. Let me be honest. But I try my best to give you an objective opinion. And Gator fans, I let you guys down. I led you guys astray. I sunshine pumped. I drank all the Kool-Aid. I thought we was gonna be really, really good. All the returning starters, the quarterback, the weapons. But what I failed to realize, and I kind of overlooked. I kind of overlooked it because I thought we could overcome it. It's the fact that Billy Napier is still the head coach. And at the end of the day, we can't overcome Billy Napier as head coach. We can't. We simply can't. So I apologize to my Gator fans. I led you guys astray. I thought we had some. And now it looks like the quarterback doesn't look like the guy. Which still falls on Billy Napier at the end of the day because that's called development. So it's still a coaching issue. The offense is ass. The penalties, the discipline, the same bullshit that we've seen for 3+ years now. It's just rearing its ugly head. The defense has played pretty decent, so I'll give them their credit. But as an overall organization, Billy Napier is a loser. He's done. it gets to a point because you have what you have to judge these coaches on ultimately is, can you win a championship with this head coach? And you know the simple answer is Billy Napier can absolutely not win a championship. He can't. He's not a championship winning coach. And the standard at Florida should not be 8-9 wins. The standard has been lowered because of Billy Napier at this point. But he's going to get fired because he hasn't lived up to the Gator standard. Which he should. I think it should happen after this bye. Well, they probably lose to Miami. And then we have a bye week. So I think that should happen right there. You get an interim head coach. Maybe get a little energy in. Maybe get a different play caller. Maybe get a little juice. And try to something. You can't. They're not going to a bowl game. You can't find 5 wins on the schedule. You can absolutely not find 5 wins on this schedule as the team is presently constructed and the way they're playing right now. You can't find 5 wins. They have 2 offensive touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. They have 2 offensive touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. I'm 43 years old. I've been a Gator fan since 1992. So I lived through Spurrier. That's what made me become a Florida fan. The fun and gun. High-powered offense. But they always had great defenses, but neither here nor there. But we came to understand that fun and gun meant spreading the ball out, throwing it all around the yard. Although we had great backs. Eric Redd, Fred Taylor, Rand Carthon. We done had some great running backs. But we were known for the quarterbacks. I'm going to start with Shane Matthews. Like, people forget about Shane Matthews. I don't people forget Shane Matthews who really started this thing. Danny Wolford, Rex Grossman, Chris Lee, Tim Tebow. So when you got that kind of pedigree at quarterback, we're used to offensive football. We had 2 touchdown drives the last 2 weeks. We've had 3 touchdowns called back in the last 2 weeks. We've had more touchdowns called back in the last 2 weeks than we have actual touchdowns. Listen what I'm telling you. We have more touchdowns called back than we have actual touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. And our quarterback threw 5 interceptions the other day. We all lost by 10. He threw 5 interceptions. 5. And I have no idea what he was looking at. This ain't a rush thing. He's just not seeing the defense. He's not reading it at all. Because this started in LIU when receivers were running right in front of his face and he wasn't seeing them. Happened in South Florida. Receivers running right in his face. Not seeing them. Just not seeing the ball feel well. And when you take the first read away, it's hell. All hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. So Billy Napier will soon be gone, and my nightmare will officially be over. And I'm hopeful, because we haven't been good since the late 2000s. We're all the way in the 20s. That's an eternity. I was a good-looking young man the last time we were great. We had some spots here and there, but we consistently competing for SEC championships is the standard. Should always be the standard at the state school of Florida. It should always be the standard. So I'm burying the Clemson Tigers today, playoff team. They still can probably win the ACC. It's possible. And I'm burying the Florida Gators and Billy Napier. And good riddance. Because it's done. They may not. It's very possible they don't make a bowl game. I can't find 5 wins on the schedule. I can't. All right. Let me read some of these chats before I move along and get to some of the scores and the games from the weekend that actually some good football being played on Saturday and Sunday. Sonny Bridges, we need apologies for everybody. I don't know who is everybody. I don't need to apologize for everybody. Sonny Bridges, FSU looks like one of the top 3 teams in the nation. I don't agree with that. You beat an Alabama team who everybody knows I don't hold high regard. Then you played the school of deaf and blind, and you had a bye this week. I would pump the brakes on that just a little bit. Look much improved. Quarterback situation looks great. Got an experienced and excellent play caller down there, and Gus Malzahn, who has been tremendous at that his whole career. looks good. The team playing well, but I don't think they top 3. They haven't. They only played 2 games. One was to get the depth in line, and one was against an Alabama team that I really don't think highly of. Even though they played well this weekend against not so good Wisconsin team. So there we are again. Shakira Rowe, Clemson looks so vanilla. We've got to stop crying these preseason Heisman finally so fast. K. Arch Lagway, yes. Yes, we were all bamboozled. We was all run amok. We was all led astray. We was all these words. You're right. You're 100% correct. But I will say in K's defense, K had put the numbers up. You know, he this guy's a 3-year starter at this point. He put a hell of a season last year. Now Arch and Lagway, I could agree with you 100%. I wasn't the biggest Arch guy. I saw the high school talent. I just didn't see generation. I don't know where that came from. Now I thought DJ could be possibly really elite, given the tool set that he had. He just don't like the same guy right now. We'll see how that go. But you're right. You're right. 100% right. Stanley Bridges, no Clemson fan in the chat. Yeah, no, you ain't. Clemson fans are MIA. Stanley Bridges, no Gator fans in the chat. No Gator fans in the chat either. MIA as well. Let's move along to some of the scores of the weekend. Hey, let's start with the best game on Saturday, man. The number 5 ranked Georgia Bulldogs, the number 15 ranked Tennessee Volunteers. What a football game. Tennessee, what a story with the quarterback Joey Aguilar. This is crazy because Nico transfers out to UCLA of all places. Joey Aguilar is at UCLA when this happens. So essentially, he essentially switches from UCLA. He goes to Tennessee, and I'm thinking that's going to be this drop off. And he's been fabulous. He is not the reason they lost the game Saturday. Now they had a lull in there where they couldn't score for a bit, but they picked it right back up and started scoring again. But what an absolute phenomenal football game. Tennessee was up 21-7. They scored on 3 straight possessions. Aguilar went for 370 yards passing. Georgia wins the game in overtime 44-41. But man, what a tremendous football game. Both teams about 500 yards total offense. Look, I saw that before. This is a 3:30 game. This is before I had to watch. You know what? Never mind. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. But this is what good football teams. Now you can say it maybe like a defense. Yes, I've told you Georgia don't have the guys on defense. They don't have them anymore. But I tell you what they got. They got a championship level football coach who is a killer. He wants to win. He demands to win. He demands excellence. And God damn it, my brother said, he was up here with me, he watched the game. He said, God damn it, I don't like Georgia, but I like Kirby Smart. And I'm sitting there like, damn, I can't really say that shit as a Florida fan. But that son of a bitch can flat coach his ass off. Because that game was 21-7. I thought Tennessee was about to run them out of the building. He made some adjustments, slowed him down a little bit. Then his offense got going. And got to give some shout out. Kudos to the gunner. Stopped and played really well. I didn't see this in him. I didn't think he could win a game like this. We had to throw for over 300 yards, which he did. What a just a fantastic, well-played football game. That's what it's supposed to look like at elite programs. That's what it's supposed to look like. When you can tell teams are well coached, you can tell they're well coached. They have a plan. You can tell they have an identity. You can look at it and see it. That's when you know you're well coached. That's when you know you got a killer at the helm right there. Kirby Smart is a killer. And I went very high on Georgia because I stated the reason why, because of the defense, and I'm still standing by that because you don't have the guy that jump off the screen. They just don't. But the talent that they do have, Kirby Smart gonna pull all that shit out of them. You understand what I'm telling you? He's gonna pull all that shit out of them. Gunn Stockton ain't the most talented guy in the world. But Kirby gonna pull that shit out of him. He demands that. It's a standard. That's why they're going to make the playoffs damn again. You know, I didn't have my playoffs initially, but they're going to make the playoffs again. They're going to make the playoffs. Because they have a damn coach. They have an identity. And I love it. I love it. I love the intensity which he coaches. I love it. You cannot be a nice guy in this shit. The only one nice guy I can remember when it was Tony Dungy. Every other coach that's been great has an edge to him. They would chew your ass out. You can't do the same shit. Oh, you can't make the same mistakes over and over and over and expect to be on the football field with these type of guys. Kudos to Josh Heupel too, because like I said, we buried Tennessee after Nico left. But he brought this guy into his system. He got fits it fits. I mean, it looks beautiful. I mean, the offense looks great. The defense played pretty well against a good Georgia offense. So we'll see going forward how they look. But that's coaching. That's what it should look like. What a football game on Saturday. Bulldogs over Tennessee, 44-41 overtime. Mr. KD gets in with a Florida Gator logo. Rio P _TV. Never count the dogs out. No, you cannot. Absolutely. I won't do it again. Long as Kirby Smart is at the helm and there's a 12-team playoff, I'm penciling them son bitches in every year. They have reached that Bill Belichick Patriots type shit. They've reached that Gino Auriemma. They've reached that Dawn Staley type shit. That Dodgers type shit. Where they're going to just be in the playoffs every year. Until they're not in the playoffs. Shakira Rowe, Kirby can flat out coach. Talk about a leader of men and rallying the troops and not panicking. I thought they were about to get blitzed. Kudos to them to weathering the storm. 100%. 100%. Well, I can't say it enough. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I hate Miami's good. I hate Florida State's good. I hate Tennessee's good. I hate Georgia's good. They're all good, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But you got to get a devil his due. You just do. You know, I've always been a guy that respects winners. I respect people who win. I just do. This is what you play the games for. We don't play the games to fucking play them. They're good, happy-go-lucky. I got good kids. They graduate. I want to turn them into good young men. All that shit, that's nice. All that shit sound good. That's fine. That's nice. That's nice. But are you winning football game? Are you winning at the particular sport you're playing? All that other stuff is irrelevant. That other shit, it don't matter. It doesn't. Shakira Rowe, early in the game, Georgia's cornerbacks were getting defensive pass interference. He called for him to go to the bench, talk about accountability. Right, the guy kept getting Kirby said, "Come over here with me. Come on, you gonna come over here with me? Cause we're not doing this. You never accept what Saturday line. You never accept something in a win that you wouldn't accept in a loss." So accountability. Love it. Rio P _ TV says exactly, my boy. Now I don't know if he's talking to Shaq or me, but yeah. Let's go with some of the top 10 scores. Ohio State beat Ohio. No shock there, 37-9. Penn State over Villanova, 52-6. It was Miami blasting University of South Florida, which I told you they would. I knew South Florida wasn't good. And Miami beat the brakes off of them. Carson Beck, 23 of 28 for 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. And they blasted 49-12. And guess what? Guess who goes to Miami Saturday? Guess who got to go to Miami Saturday? And game day is gonna be there. Oh Lord, pray for us. Let's see what I got. Illinois, number 9 ranked. Illinois won 38. Nothing over Western Michigan. It was. Let's talk about Texas a little bit. Texas beat UTEP. Number 8 ranked Texas beat UTEP 27 to 10, Arch Manning was absolutely god awful. I don't know how else to put it. He was 11 of 25. That's 44% for you math majors out there. He has been bad. There's no other way to put this. I'm with Shaquille Rowe. I wasn't hyped on Arch Manning. I would tell you that from the start. But a lot of people were. And you know, a lot of that comes from the last name. Because if you looked at his high school film and some of the talent he was playing against, it wasn't really great talent. So, you know, his name, he has some ability. So the combination of his name and the ability, that's where that hype comes from. If he had anybody else's name and he played against that competition, he wouldn't have been that hyped. He wouldn't have had that ranking out of high school. So I'm not shocked about Arch as much as I am about DJ. I'm super shocked about DJ. But I'm not surprised about Arch at all. But Texas is not, you know, you only can go as far as your quarterback goes. This quarterback cannot get to the playoffs playing like this. Their schedule they got, no way. No way, no how that he can get to the playoffs with this quarterback playing the way he's playing right now. No way, no how. Another big game, Saturday night, the Aggies, Texas A&M Aggies go into South Bend, Indiana, beat the Fighting Irish 41-40. What a football game this was. Notre Dame is 0-2. Another team that I had high praise for coming to the season. Now, let me say this. They lost 2 games. They lost to Miami, who's number 4, and then Texas A&M, who's number 10. So they did lose to some quality opponents. Could they run the table? If they run the table, then they still can make the playoffs. But now your margin for error is that small. It's really, really small. You gotta win. Now you gotta run the table. You gotta win 10 games in a row. I haven't looked at the schedule here lately, so I don't know what's on the schedule. But you gotta win 10 games in a row. That's gonna be really, really, really difficult. I don't know how. Can you win 10 games in a row? I just don't see. I don't know how you can do it. I don't know if you can do it. And we mentioned Georgia Tech upsetting Clemson 24-21. Clemson's 1-2. And I can't tell you a good stretch of football that they played. The Troy game they had 2 weeks ago, they struggled mightily to the delay. They had a lightning delay, a weather delay, and they were down in that game. And they come back and win the game. Ultimately, win the game, but they haven't looked great at all. So that's your college, pretty much your storyline for your college football week, from your college football weekend as we transition over to the NFL. But give me a second. Let me introduce myself again. I am the sensational Sentell Wildman, and this is Sentell's Intel, the best damn sports podcast, period. The undisputed champion of sports podcasts. We're live on YouTube right now. We just went and talked about the weekend in college football. Now we're going to turn our attention to the NFL action of the weekend. And let's start with the best game of the day, Cowboys and Giants. Not really two really good teams. I don't think that either one of these teams are great. But a really, really fun, entertaining football game. A lot of yards. Russell Wilson turned back the clock. 450 yards passing for him. 3 touchdowns. Dak Prescott, who was a giant killer throughout his career. He's over 300 yards passing. Malik Neighbors, 2 touchdowns. One there, Robinson, over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. He was good. CD was good. George Pickens was great. Williams, the running back for the Cowboys. I mean, just a lot of offensive plays being made. And ultimately, the Cowboys were able to get a last-second drive in regulation to get Brandon Aubrey into field goal range. And this guy has a tremendous leg. 64-yard field goal at the end of regulation to send the game to overtime. Just big time. And you knew it's a luxury when you know you don't have to go so far. The Cowboys didn't have to go so far to get him into range. And the Giants conceded some of those yards, just enough yards. Smart play call on the play before the kick. I think they ran a draw play because they had a timeout, and that probably caught the Giants off guard. They ran a draw play and picked up about 6 or 7 yards. That was huge. and allowed Brandon Arbor to get in range for a 64-yard field goal, which he had plenty of leg in it. And I thought overtime, the Cowboys had a possession, but the Giants got a possession, and I thought the Giants were trying to win the game on one play. Russell kept looking. They didn't try to run their offense. It's just like Russell was taking deep shots, took 3 straight dropbacks, where it looked like everything was a vertical shot. There was nothing underneath trying to run your offense at that point. And ultimately it cost him because he threw a ball in the double coverage. He just threw a ball up. I mean, he had been doing that all day, but he had been beating the coverage a couple times. He beat the coverage with the throw. Malik Neighbors made some ridiculous catches, that's what he does. And Russell threw an interception. So while Russ cooked, most of the game he was cooking. He was cooking a great dish. But he left the dish on too long. He left it on the stove way too long, and he burned the dish because that pick cost in the football game. Dallas goes down, get Brandon Arbor to a field goal range, 46-yard field goal later. Cowboys win the game. I think the Giants go to 0-2. I think Cowboys are 1-1. Giants go to 0-2. Rest of the football from your Sunday. Hold on. I thought I had a chat come through. Shakir Rowe. The tape on the Cowboys defense is awful. Yes, I know after the game, Jerry Jones announced that they signed Jadeveon Clowney to try and alleviate that void that they have from the pass rush, which we already knew it was going to happen. Only Jerry Jones and the Cowboy fans that he tricked into believing that the Cowboys were better off without Michael Parsons. Because trust me when I tell you this, there were a lot of Cowboy fans on my Facebook timeline telling me how they are better off without Michael Parsons. You talking about coping? You think that you're better off without Michael Parsons? You really you believe that? They were Cowboy fans saying we're better off without Michael Parsons. And the first 2 weeks, they absolutely cannot sniff the quarterback. The first game, Jalen Hurts was back there doing his taxes. He was filling out his taxes report. He was doing all kinds of things in the pocket. I mean, that's how much time he had back there. He was just standing back there. And when they finally, and people confuse pass rush with he holding the ball for 8 seconds back there, right? And then the Cowboy defense get back there. And some people tell me that's a pass rush. Like, that's not a pass rush. Eventually, you should get back there. He's been holding the ball for 8 seconds. So when they did get back there, Jalen Hurts was breaking the containment. But people were trying to tell me that this was a pass rush. That's not a pass rush. That's not what a pass rush is. You're not making him speed up. You're not altering him. You're not altering him back in the pocket. You're not making him think mentally about it. He's literally standing back there patting the ball. That's not a pass rush. But there were Cowboy fans who told me that they were better off without Michael Parsons, which is absolutely asinine. Aaron McCoy. How about the disappearing act of Clemson's elite defensive front, T.J. Parker and Peter Woods? Man, it's a combination of a lot of things, man. People have not lived up to these lofty standards that we've given them. Some of these people who have not lived up to these standards, you got to wonder what these guys' motivation is right now. Are they trying to conserve themselves? They looking at draft boards. Both those guys are projected top 10 picks. They looking at them draft boards. Are you trying to preserve yourself? What's going on? What's really going on? What's the motivation? What's going on? You guys are not playing up to the standard that we know you can play up to. Now, obviously, the defense has been better than the offense because that's what keeps them in the football game. So I don't want to kill them too much, but they haven't been great either. But they've certainly been better than Clemson's offense. That's not breaking any news. As we go out to the NFL, let's go down the NFL games. The 49ers beat the Saints 26-21. How about Mac Jones? Who? Mac Jones. That Mac Jones. You know the Mac Jones that was drafted by the Patriots, got an exile, went out to Jacksonville for a season. 270 yards yesterday, 3 touchdowns. Mac Jones. did a number yesterday on the Saints. 49ers improved to 2-0. Thank God I got the 49ers, even though I wasn't expecting nothing out of them. The Rams over the Titans, 33-19. Seahawks over the Steelers. Steelers fans, get ready for this. This is how it's going to be all season long. Aaron Rodgers threw 4 touchdowns. First week 1, he was bad yesterday. This is what he is at this point. When you get this age, he can have splashes of moments, a game. He may even get you a game. He may even get you 2 in a row. But I can promise you, there won't be a stretch of this season where he goes 3 games in a row where he plays good. And when it gets even, when it starts getting colder, he's going to get worse. He's going to get worse. So this is what you're going to have. That's why I say you're a 500 football team. I know after Aaron Rodgers threw for 4 touchdowns the first week, you guys were already about making proclamations, but this is what he is now. He may have a good game next week. He may have a good game the week after that. I can assure you there won't be a 3-game stretch of Aaron Rodgers playing well. It will not happen. It just won't happen. So this is what he is. This is the roller coaster that you guys are about to be on. And you should be used to it with Mike Tomlin, the head coach at this point, because you haven't won a playoff game since 2016. You're pretty much 9-8 every year. 10-7, 9-8, 10-7. This is what you are up and down because you can't figure out the quarterback position, and you haven't figured it out now. Aaron Rodgers is just a guy at this point in his career. He can have flash moments where oh my God, look at the throw he just made. Can't do it consistently enough, and that's going to be your season in a nutshell. Mr. KDD says Peter Woods has been good. I wouldn't say he's been good. We talking about elite, great for a top 10 pick. Top 10 pick. He's been good. He's been solid. Rio P _TV. How about the Falcons benching the new kicker? No, I thought Younghoe Koo was actually injured. I think he was inactive yesterday. Then they brought that kicker on because he's inactive. Now I could be wrong, but I think he was just inactive. I think Younghoe Koo was just inactive. We'll get to that Falcons and Minnesota game in a second. I'll run through the rest of those. But I think Younghoe Koo was inactive yesterday. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'm thinking he was inactive. I think he was hurt. If you're out there, again, let me say this again. If you're watching right now, like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you're out there watching. This is Sentell. We're live on YouTube. We're going through the NFL scores from Sunday. We've already discussed college football at length on here. We're going to run through our NFL scores and get through that. And then we'll talk a little bit about we got a doubleheader tonight in the NFL, so we'll talk about that a little bit before we head out. It was the Bills over the Jets, 30-10. James Cook was sensational yesterday. 21 rush attempts, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a fabulous run early in the game yesterday where he made a couple guys miss and just out the gate he went. Josh Allen got banged up a little bit yesterday. I think he might have broke his nose, possibly. He wasn't great after that. He just did enough, but the Bills beat the Jets. Justin Fields, another one of those guys. He was great week 1. Yesterday, not so great. Also got concussed in the game, so we'll see what his status is come next week. It was the Lions. The Lions. 52-21 over their former offensive coordinator. And this is what I like about Dan Campbell. Petty. I love people who are petty. Because I know people were out there saying, after that week 1 game, when the Lions were just shut out completely. And I do still think that Ben Johnson's not being there will hurt them. But yesterday was an absolute statement to Ben Johnson that we don't need you. 52-21. Jared Goff, 5 touchdown passes yesterday. 334 yards. St. Brown, 3 TD receptions. The Lions go for over 500 yards of total offense, and they just clobber the Bears, who are 0-2, and Ben Johnson off to a rough start. But that was an absolute statement. Trust me when I tell you. That was a statement by the Lions to Ben Johnson that we don't need you. You need more people. And Caleb Williams, Wasn't the biggest Caleb Williams guy. And I'm gonna give Ben Johnson the time to try to figure him out and fix him. But that was a beat down yesterday. I thought the Bears defense was a lot better than us. Now their top cornerback did get hurt during the game. But they got assaulted yesterday. They got physically assaulted on TV yesterday. When a team in the NFL scores 50 points on you, when the talent gap's supposed to be like this in the NFL, like this, and you give up 50 points, and it was like 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They had 50. What a performance from the Lions yesterday. Shakir Rowe, yeah, Koo is hurt. I thought so. I thought that was the case. I wasn't 100% sure, but yeah, kicker did a great job. We'll get to that in a second. It was the Ravens over the Browns. Lamar threw a few TD passes. The Browns are horrible. I don't know how long they're going to go with Joe Flacco. This makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. The Browns have no idea what they're doing. I don't think I need to tell you this. We know the Browns organization is horrible. It's dog shit. We understand that. We get it. They don't know what they're doing. The last good quarterback, maybe Bernie Kosar in the 80s. You had Baker for that one season. What's the guy that got Tim Couch? They done had some bad guys that come through there and stake this place up. I think it started with Tim Couch. Tim Couch, I think he was the first guy they drafted when they moved back to Cleveland. I won't say he was the first guy they drafted, and it's been bad ever since. It's been bad. I mean, it's been brutal. They don't know what the hell they're doing. I have no idea why you're playing Joe Flacco. You need to see which one of the rookie quarterbacks can actually play. Because this season, you're not winning anything with Joe Flacco. This team ain't going anywhere. You're not winning anything. You're not a playoff contender. You're not this. Why are you playing Joe Flacco? Forget winning football games. You're not winning no football games. You're not good enough to win football games. The defense is okay, but they're on the field so damn much, it's not going to matter. So why is Joe Flacco playing? There's no reason for Joe Flacco to be playing. I like having him on the roster as a mentor, but Dylan Gabriel already 37 years old. He don't need no mentoring. He's already 37 years old. You already got a veteran president on your team. You don't need Joe Flacco to be a veteran president when you got Dylan Gabriel, who's 37 years old and was in college. The first time President Trump was in office. You don't need Dylan Gabriel. I mean, you don't need Joe Flacco. But you need to play them rookie quarterbacks because you need to see if them guys can play. You got all them young guys, the Samson kid, the running back. You need to be playing him. You got Cedric Tim on the outside. You got Jerry Jeudy. You got some young guys. You got some young skill position people. You need to let them young skill position people grow with your young guy that you have. You need to see what you got. The Browns are a terribly run organization. They are horribly run. This is malpractice. Why in God's name would Joe Flacco be starting as a quarterback on your team right now? It makes no sense. It was the Patriots over the Dolphins. Oh my God. Mike Vrabel gets his first win as a Patriots head coach. The Dolphins fall to 0-2, and they got much bigger problems in South Florida. Mike McDaniels he's lost complete control of this team. Tua Tagovailoa, all the issues that I thought that he had coming into the league, they've all surfaced up. I told you I did not believe in Tua Tagovailoa, a one-trick pony guy. He's showing to be what he is. Although the game was very competitive, so let's not mean the game was that. Other than now, week one they got blew out and it was ugly against the Coast. But it looks bad in South Florida. I can see them starting to maybe trade some of their veteran guys soon. I think Mike McDaniel is in a world of trouble. Tua is not it, never been it, won't be it. So they got a lot of money invested in him. So it's just a really bad situation down in South Florida right now for the Miami Dolphins. They are in bad shape. But the Patriots get the win 33-27. Mike Vrabel gets his first win as the Patriots head coach. It was the Bengals over the Jags 31-27, but that is nearly not the story of this game. And I could have probably led with this, Maybe it's talked about this earlier, but the biggest story obviously this game is Joe Burrow is hurt again. This Joe could be one of these situations where we look back and go, what could have been? We are reaching Andrew Luck type status on forced injury front because it's always something. And I blame the Bengals organization to a certain degree because they have refused to invest in the offensive line. He gets hit way too many times. So if you haven't heard, Joe Flacco is out. Joe Burrow is out, at least 3 months. A significant turf toe injury. It had to be significant because he's getting surgery done. He's out 3 months. Big blow to the Cincinnati Bengals. Huge blow. They had Jake Browning coming yesterday. He did some decent things and he did some not so decent things. That's what you expect from a backup. It's a big blow to the Bengals. But you know who else is a big blow to? It's a big blow to fantasy owners who have Jamar Chase. Such as me. So yes, I'm doubly upset about the fact that Joe Burrow is hurt. I am sad that Joe Burrow is hurt. Yes, I am extremely sad because I have Jamar Chase on my fantasy team. Now, can Jake Browning get the ball to him? Could the guy they bring in, because they're looking for a free agent quarterback to bring in, so we'll see who that guy is. But yeah, the Bengals are in trouble because the defense is not good enough to carry them through this stretch of time. They're just not good enough to do that. They've improved, but they're not good enough to do that, especially against the better teams in the AFC. You get in your own division, you get Lamar, so you get to see him 2 more times. So it's gonna be a tough situation in Pittsburgh, even with Aaron Rodgers. Hey, it's gonna be tough for the Bengals without Joe Burrow. Get well soon. That's probably the end of my fantasy team for the season. But hey, it is what it is. This is what my life has become. This is what my life has become. Okay. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. That's just what it is. And we can count the ways of just bad things going. It was the Cardinals over the Panthers. The Cardinals improved to 2-0, 27-22. Bryce Young had a chance late to win this game. They was down 27-9 in the fourth quarter. They come back and score a couple touchdowns. They actually had the ball with a chance. And much like the Russell Wilson situation, I thought Carolina was just trying to get all of it in one play instead of just trying to get some intermediate stuff. They had enough time to do that, and they just didn't. And I think ultimately they got a sack fumble, I want to say, that ended the football game. So the Cardinals are 2-0. I think the Panthers fall to 0-2. But I like what Bryce Young is doing. He didn't play well week 1, but he played well yesterday late. So we need to get better at him. And to T-Mac, I ain't going to try to say his name. He was phenomenal yesterday. He looked like a number 1 receiver yesterday for the Panthers. I like him a lot. That is how you build your young quarterback up. You get him weapons like that. That guy is a legit stud, a bona fide stud already. He looks really, really good. He looks really smooth. I like him a lot. But the Panthers fall 27-22 to the Cardinals. The Cardinals were improved to 2-0. Shakira Rose says the Bengals might need to go grab Jameis. That would be a good option. Because he could throw the football to them. They got some dudes now. They got some dudes. So that's a good fit. I like that fit because Jameis is third string behind Dart and Russell. So I like that fit. He's been in Ohio. He played with Cleveland a couple of years. So, you give him Taysom Higgins. He going to put some numbers up. Now, he going to throw some damn picks. But he will put some numbers up with that team. With that offensive mind play callers they got, with those weapons, Jameis could put some points. I like that. I like that a lot, Shakiro. I like that one. Shakiro, love the rookie receiver the Panthers got. He looked nice. Yes, he had a 100-yard receiving yesterday. He looks the part. He agile. Even though he's big, he's agile. He can get in and out his break really nice. I like him a lot. Yeah, Mr. KDD on the flip side of that is Xavier Legette has been horrible. Yes. Man, he looked so slow and not setting yesterday. Like he couldn't get off a press coverage yesterday. I was so disappointed. And I like him. I want to like Xavier Legette. I want to believe in Xavier Legette. Big fan of Xavier. But boy, he is not. you're 100% correct. He has not performed well at all. At all. Their two best receivers yesterday was McMillan and Hunter Renfrow. They threw a couple passes to Leggett yesterday. He just had no separation, no burst. And I'm like, what happened to this guy? He had a burst. He had a little something but he don't have it right now. And boy, that looking like a not so great pick for the Panthers right now. Because usually these guys flash by now. Everybody have bad, but they flash. We haven't seen anything from Leggett. Even last year, I can't remember him flashing. The guy that flashed for them was like Coker, if I want to say his name correctly. He didn't even flash. But see, that's why I looked at McMillan yesterday. I don't even want to try to say his name. I just called T-Man. He just jumped off the screen. Like, he's just a big body who moves where he runs, where he gets in and out, he breaks really. Like, I like him a lot. He looks to be the real deal. Rio P _ TV. Hey, you do have a good eye for talent. You told us about Victor Cruz before the world found out how good he was. Yeah, I cheated on Victor Cruz. I don't want to take too much credit for Victor Cruz. I don't, because my homeboy, who's a Giants fan, was watching Victor Cruz that preseason. He kind of, hey, this kid Victor Cruz over here, looks like the real deal. He was for, he had a short little stint there, but he was really, really good. But yeah, I can't take full credit for that on my homeboy. Put me on that. He's a Giants fan, and he really turned me on to Victor Cruz. But yeah, he was a good one. Yeah. But let's move on to the scores. We had the Super Bowl rematch yesterday. There's a reason why I didn't go to the Super Bowl rematch, because it wasn't that great of a football game. The Chiefs aren't very good. And we can have this conversation about Jalen Hurts today. Let's have this conversation about Jalen Hurts today. This is why a lot of people scoff at the notion of why he's not a top 5 quarterback. Because yesterday he threw 400 yards. Now, they won the game. But he had 100 yards passing. He had 100-yard passing against a Patrick Mahomes-led team and won a football game. This is why people knock Jalen Hurts. It's hard to quantify what Jalen Hurts is. Although I see him actually have to pass the football in the Super Bowl last year when they slowed down Saquon Barkley last in the Super Bowl. He made the throws. He had a bunch of yards. But consistently throughout the season, he gives you these games. This is why we thought last year they was in trouble. Because the passing game was just so inept. But they win the game. So it's hard to judge Jalen Hurts. But this is why people don't say he's a top 5 quarterback. Or even top 10. Some people don't even say top 10. And it's hard to judge him. It really is. I guess I have to put him in the top 10 because he's performed so well in the playoffs. And he's won a Super Bowl. But if you asking me who I would start my team with, now that's a different question. Because I don't know how good he would be without the great talent that he has. And I don't want to slight him, but that's just the reality. Because when you can win a game, did I mention the score? Eagles win 2017 over the Chiefs yesterday. When you throw for only 100 yards and you beat the defending champs, I mean, when you beat Patrick Mahomes in his stadium and your quarterback throw for 100 yards, again, I got to put him in the top 10, Super Bowl winner, and I've seen him play well in the playoffs and perform at a high level. But if you ask me to start my team, that's a different conversation. Because I'm not sure, and he might not ever have to prove this, that he could carry a team. I'm not sure for a sustained amount of time. God, knock on wood. I don't want to put this out in the air. Let's just say for the sake of argument, Saquon Barkley was to miss some games. Let's say Devontae Smith missed a game or two. And the reason why I can say this, because this happens, because it happened to the 49ers last year. It happened to Brock Purdy last year. Christian McCaffrey got hurt. Brandon Ayuk was out for the season. Debo's hurt. So Trent Williams hurt. So what I would like to see, so the only way we can really prove this, Saquon's out for a couple weeks, Devontae or AJ out for a couple weeks. One of those two great tackles, Lane Johnson, and the other one, Malaga, out for a week or two. Then I think we can have an actual assessment of Jalen Hurts. Because right now we really can't. We really can't because the team is so good and they're not asking him to do a lot. They just ask him not to lose the football game, which that's what he does. They didn't ask him not to lose the football game for the most 95% of the time. And he does his job, and they win the game. He had a 100-yard passing yesterday. In today's NFL, a guy had a 100-yard passing. Russell Wilson had 450-yard passing yesterday. He had a guy and he lost. He had a guy with 100 yards, and he won. So, like I said, the only way you can truly judge Jalen Hurts as a elite type of guy if you took some of the people away from him and we see what he looked like for an extended amount of time. As long as they got Saquon and the ability to throw it to AJ, even though they don't throw it to AJ Brown, AJ is getting good cardio. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith should be the most in-shape receivers in the league. They get the most cardio in it. Every week, those guys get to run miles and miles and miles. They conditioning and cardio should be the best in the league. But as long as he got them, that is got it at tight end. He has the weapons to do these things, but we haven't seen him forced to do this thing outside of that Super Bowl last year. With the 2 Super Bowls he played very well. But until I see that, I don't even know what to do with him. I don't know what to do with him. I put him in the top 10 because he got a Super Bowl and I saw him perform. But I do not think if I started a team, you asked me to start a team, would I start it with him? Because I don't know if he can carry a team. I don't know if he's the type of guy that can uplift the team. I'm not knocking him. That's just where I'm at with Jalen Hurts right now. That's just where I'm at. Rio P _TV. Remember the Madden nights? Yeah, I do remember the Madden nights. I do, absolutely. Shakira Rowe, the Eagles will run into the Packers in the NFC Championship and get run off the field. It's too early for me to make these proclamations. The Packers are really, really good. They are really, really good. But the Eagles right now is still kind of in a Super Bowl hangover mode. But they only a couple months removed from the Super Bowl. So we got to see how the wear and tear the season goes along. But right now, today, the Packers look like the most complete team right now. But it's 2 weeks into the season. It's just too early for this. The Packers look like the most complete team of the season. I will hold off on what the Packers going to do. I'll hold off on that. Skiro, if Hurts has my home team right now, he's 0-2 as well. I agree with that. They have no talent, especially without Rashid Rice. And now you got Xavier Worthy banged up. Travis Kelce is a shell of himself. He needs to go ahead and probably hang it up. Go marry your girl. Taylor Swift have a bunch of babies, but it's over for him being an elite level player. He's a decent player at this point, but they don't have no running game. The offensive line is still not great, and they ask Patrick Mahomes to be Superman every week, and right now he can't overcome all the things that ail them. The fact that they got to the Super Bowl last year was just astounding to me because I thought that Buffalo and the Ravens were so much better than them. But, you got to give credit to Pat Mahomes. But at this point, they are in a lot of trouble. I can't see how they are in trouble. They're in a lot of trouble. I can't see how they fix this. This is bad. Sakiro, and get AJ out of Philly, please. Yeah, my man on a milk carton every week, bro. He's gonna be reading 4-5 books a game at this point because he's just out there. Now, I don't see the all 22s, right? But I did hear a couple reputable football people that are saying that AJ Brown. Now, when you got a top guy, You can throw smoke screens. You can throw bubble screens. You can do little things, hitches. You can do something to get the ball to him. So I don't want that to be what I'm about to say is they're saying that he's having a lot of trouble getting separation. But I would just say this. He's never been, even though he ran fast in combine, he's a big body receiver. There's not going to be a whole lot of separation. You just got to get it up to him. He's going to make a play. That's who he is. He's never going to be a guy who gets a lot of separation. So I don't want to use that as an excuse to why he don't get the ball thrown to him because he's a big-bodied guy who's not going to ever get separation. DK Metcalf, that type, he's not going to get separation. He's a big-bodied receiver. But you have to start getting him involved in the game early. It is crazy how much they do not feature him or Devontae Smith. They really don't. They don't go out of the game plan and be like, let's get the ball to 11. Let's get the ball to 6. They don't do that. Let's give the 26. Let's give the 26. Jalen improvise. And that's really what they do. They don't run no plays for Devontae like that. They don't run plays for AJ like that. It's crazy. A guy who's a top 5 paid receiver, that usually does not, that don't work that way. And kudos to AJ Brown for not having TO'd this thing by now. And I know they're winning, which ails a lot. But kudos to him for not TO'ing this thing. And no one would blame him because this is crazy behavior. Like the first game, he went 3.5 quarters without a target. Forget a catch. Without a target. This is a top 5 paid receiver in the league. Without a target in the first 3.5 quarters of a game. That's unbelievable. So kudos to him. Read your books. Because if they were losing these games, I can assure you, the best thing to happen is to feel like they won a Super Bowl. And if they hadn't won a Super Bowl, you'd have heard from A.J. Brown all off season. It would have been ugly. And if they start losing this season, it's going to get ugly. Because his production is horrible. Because what's happening, what's going to happen is the GM and the owner is going to come to A.J. Brown's representative. And they're going to say, well, your production is not matched up to what we're paying you. And it's not his fault. But that's how this works. You're paying a guy he's top 5, top 10. When he got his contract, he definitely was top 5. He's making 33, 35 million a season. He's one of the top paid. They're going to say, you're making this kind of money and your production ain't matching it. But it's not his fault, but they're not going to pay you. That's just how business goes. I'm not paying you for 50 catches. I can get anybody to come in and get 50 catches and 700 yards. I can get anybody to do that. At minimum wage, at a minimum salary. I mean, so if they stop losing, it would be a problem. But Howard Roseman has built this thing so good. Jeffrey Lurie is a great owner. Like this thing is just built so good. And until it's not. And so we'll see how it goes. Rio P _TV put him with an average defense. Oh, Shakira wrote before that, I'm sick of that damn tush push, zero offensive creativity. Look, they had a chance in the offseason to vote this down, and they didn't. I don't have a problem with it. But what I saw yesterday, the problem that people were having, it looks like the guards were leaving early every time. So if you're gonna let them leave early and do the tush push, then you have no chance of stopping it whatsoever. I think they'll go back next year and look at this again, and they're probably gonna take it out. But they had a vote this year to take it out, so you can't blame anybody but the teams that voted against it. So vote to keep it. So we'll leave it at that. But Rio P _TV Hurts has always succeeded playing with a good defense. Yeah, I mean, look, everybody needs help. Everybody needs great talent around him. I hate when people say, well, he had such and such. I hate when people say, oh, he had such and such. Well, you don't win without good players. You just don't. This notion that people tell you that people win without great players and good players around them, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Nobody win without good players and great players on team. They just don't. It doesn't happen by accident. So I don't like to knock people when they say, well, such and such got this guy, such and such got that guy. So what? It's your job to build the best team. You think it's your job to sit around and not have the best team? Well, we got the quarterback. We just put bullshit around them. No. Jeffrey Lurie and damn, I forgot, and Howie Roseman have done their damn job. They put together a great football team. That is your job. It is not their job to figure out why other teams can't figure out how to put great teams around their quarterback. They're even getting paid. That's not their job to figure out. They've done it. They drafted well. They scouted well. They found some gems. They signed the right people. So kudos to them. I ain't even shit on them. Let's get to the final score so I can get out of it. Damn, it's over an hour. Woo, you people have been on it. It was the Colts over the Broncos, 29-28. The Colts are 2-0, and they're calling Daniel Jones. They are calling Daniel Jones Indiana Jones, people. They are calling Daniel Jones Indiana Jones. He was good yesterday, 300-yard passing TD. He was good last week, 3 touchdown passes last week. In that debacle against the Dolphins. But the Colts are 2-0. They beat the Broncos 29-28. And last night the Falcons beat Minnesota. Not a really, really great football game. Both quarterbacks struggled. J.J. McCarthy got hurt. Matter of fact, he's already been ruled out for this Sunday's game. So the Falcons beat them last night. Bijan Robinson, top 3 running back in the National Football League. Top 3 running back in the National Football League. I wanted that guy so bad on my fantasy team. He can run it. He can catch it. He's a miniature Saquon Barkley. I'm dead serious. That's not, when I say this, I'm dead ass serious. He's a miniature Saquon Barkley. He can run inside. He can run outside. He can catch it. He got breakaway speed. He got power. He's the real deal. So a solid draft pick by Atlanta Falcons when they got Bijan Robinson. I thought Michael Penix struggled. Hopefully he get better. They got a lot of weapons out there. Kyle Pitts looked a lot better. But the Falcons defense, the pass rush, I was really impressed with the Falcons pass rush last night. Oh, they got after it. I was just like, they was getting after it last night. The Minnesota was without their left tackle and the Pierce kid from Tennessee. And the other guy, the other kid name I forget. They brought in Leonard Floyd, the veteran who's been around forever. But the other kid they drafted, I'll get his name in a minute. But the Pierce kid from Tennessee, and they were wrecking shop yesterday. Man, they haven't had a pass rush like this in years in Atlanta. They've been looking for a pass rusher forever. They've went through a lot of guys they've drafted trying to find a pass rush. I remember them getting back in the day, they got drafted Vic Beasley a long time ago trying to find a pass rush. But, man, yeah, Jalen Walker from Georgia. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jalen Walker. Oh, he was fantastic last night. Those guys, they was getting after it last night. 2 SEC guys, by the way. Walker and Pierce with Floyd. My goodness, were they getting out there last night. Boy, you got to have a pass rush in this league. And when you got that pass rush, which is why you don't go around trading 26-year-old elite pass rushers, you don't do it. This is exactly why you don't do that. Pass rush or premium. The 2 most important players on the field right now in the NFL. The quarterback and the guy who can affect the quarterback. You don't trade the guy who can affect the quarterback. When that guy can get after that quarterback, it changes life. JJ was in trouble all night long because that pass rush had already spooked him. Now it's speeding your clock up. I got to get this out of my hand. So it just affected you. When you can hit, and you ain't got to sack him, when you can pressure and you can hit the quarterback, you can change the quarterback's whole mentality for a football game. This is why those guys are a premium. You do not trade them guys. You don't trade the TJ Watts, the Myles Garretts, the Michael Parsons, the Nick Bosas, the Joey Bosas. You don't trade these people. They cause so much havoc. They win you football games. So you just don't do that. Yeah, Jay, I know. Georgia, right? This is the last little group of Georgia. Mikael Williams, Jalen Walker. I got Mikael Williams. Been a good player for us so far. Really good player. Georgia, Georgia Kirby going, I don't see those guys right now in that roster. We might see it. But those two, Jalen and Mikael have been great. Tonight we got a double header. It's Las Vegas and whew, Las Vegas. I know the Buccaneers play Texans. Texans and Buccaneers are on now. Oh, damn! I gotta get out of here, y'all, because I went over to. I forgot we had a double header tonight. I am so sorry. That's something I normally don't do. Texans and Buccaneers, Vegas and who is Vegas? Vegas and the Chargers. Raiders and Chargers later tonight. Both teams are 1-0. The Texans are 0. Texas and the Buccaneers are 0-1. Texas have already took the lead 7-0 early in the first quarter. So I'll let you guys. I'll get all you guys have. I want to thank all you guys for tuning in. All the questions, all the comments. This is what I like. I like the engagement. Fuse the show. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell friends about it, and tune in next week to Sentell's Intel right here live on YouTube. It's the best damn sports podcast, period. I'm your host, the sensational Sentell Whiteman, a.k.a. Mr. No Days Off, a.k.a. the One Man Dynasty. I will see you guys next week for another edition of Overreaction Monday. It may be early in the day, but I'll probably see you Tuesday. Maybe not be Monday. Probably be Tuesday. So I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Great show, you guys. I will see you guys next week. It's been fun. Peace.